This Friday, July 4th, 2025, talk about the worst timing imaginable. While Ridge Forrester paces the halls of Forrester Creations, calm and confident as ever, promising Hope Logan and Liam Spencer that Deputy Chief Bradley Baker and his squad will haul Luna Nozawa off to jail sooner rather than later. His daughter Steffy Forrester Finnegan is inches from the barrel of a gun. Picture the scene. Steffy storms into the Hayes Forrester Finnegan Art School expecting to confront nothing more lethal than a bad critique of Dylan's latest sculpture, only to find Luna lying in ambush, pistol steady in hand, eyes glinting with cold vengeance. Ridge's reassurances that the police have Luna under surveillance, that her capture is inevitable, ring hollow in the echoing hallway as Luna's finger tenses on the trigger. Steffy's pulse slams against her ears, adrenaline carving icy streaks down her spine as she recalls the origami fortune from the creepy soothsayer Dylan brought home, the violent sketches Luna's son helped draft, the whispered threats that seemed almost mythic until this very moment. Steffy knows she faces an enemy who has stalked her for months, Luna, the woman who believes Steffy embodies every slight, every failure, every cruelty of the Forrester Finnegan legacy. And now, with the smoking muzzle aimed at her heart, Steffy realizes just how vulnerable she truly is. Every instinct hollers to run, yet her legs refuse to move, and in that split second of frozen terror she sees her life flash before her children's laughter, her husband's face, the dreams she still had yet to chase, and she prays, fiery and desperate, for rescue. Meanwhile, high above on the cliffs overlooking Malibu, Sheila Carter Sharp receives a frantic dispatch from Taylor Hayes, the only one who believed, at least briefly, that Sheila might have truly reformed. Taylor, racked with guilt over past alliances and misled by Sheila's honeyed promises, has handed over intel, Steffy's exact location, the layout of the beachside compound, and chilling details about the Ms. Sunshine origami, those gruesome, hand-folded threats that presaged violence. In a twist no one saw coming, Sheila assembles her warrior's resolve and speeds toward the art school, heart pounding with equal measures of dread and duty. The woman who once held Steffy at gunpoint, who tormented her with nightmares and terror, now races to save the very granddaughter she betrayed. The irony is almost too much to bear. Sheila, the master manipulator and merciless marauder, has become the moral fulcrum on which Steffy's fate teeters. And as she carves speed lines through the Pacific Coast Highway, the ghosts of her past, every bullet fired, every secret unearthed, claw at her sanity, reminding her that her redemption hinges on what she chooses to do next. Back at Forrester Creations, Ridge finally notices his phone lighting up with urgent texts, Taylor's name flashing across the screen, a lifeline thrown too late to stop the calamity unfolding. His confident facade fractures, panic bleeding into his voice as he shouts to Liam, they've moved in on Steffy now. In a flash, hope and fear collide, and Ridge and Liam leap into Ridge's vintage convertible, tires squealing as they race toward the Hayes Forrester Finnegan campus. Every stoplight snarls their progress, every honking horn becomes a countdown to disaster. Hope Logan, helpless in the back seat, clutches her phone, tears hot on her cheeks, while Liam presses his forehead to the wheel, vowing that if Luna fires one shot at Steffy, he will throw himself across the line of fire and pay any price to keep her alive. And somewhere between the skyline and the shoreline, Ridge's guilt blooms like a poison. How could he have been so blind? How could he have assured safety when his own daughter's life was slipping through his fingers? Inside the art school's twisted tableau of horror, Luna stands over Steffy, trembling with a fierce satisfaction born of obsession. She sees in Steffy everything she envies and everything she despises, the love of Finn, the power of the Forrester name, the illusion of perfection she has been denied. Luna taunts Steffy with every cruel promise. This ends today, Mother, even as a small voice inside her pleads for interruption, for someone to stop the madness she herself can't control. She half expects her grandmother to burst through the doors, a savior she simultaneously fears and yearns to disappoint. And as Luna's grip tightens on the pistol, she considers the unthinkable, shooting Sheila to clear the way to her ultimate revenge. Would her own flesh and blood stand in her path? Would her grandmother's desperate pleas be just another puzzle to solve, another betrayal to endure? Luna's breathing comes in ragged bursts, her mind a battleground of rage, fear, and a twisted desire for recognition that she cannot escape. On that battered front porch of the beach house, a different tension crackles. Grace Buckingham, heels clicking on the hardwood floor as she tries to maintain composure in her sleek design studio, glances at her phone and winces at the anonymous number on the screen. Another call, another whisper filling her ear with threats only she could understand. Not her ex-con husband, he's locked away, so who is haunting her? Someone with intimate knowledge of her past, someone determined to drag her skeletons into broad daylight. Grace's polished veneer cracks as she retreats into her office, locking the door and dialing Nicholas's number, praying she isn't about to unleash another scandal on the Buckingham name. She deserves a fresh start after everything, but these menacing calls suggest her story isn't finished, and as she presses her back against the door, she realizes that her own life may be hurtling toward disaster even as she watches Steffy's nightmare unfold on her phone's live chat. And then it happens. Sheila bursts through the art school entrance just as Ridge and Liam skid into the driveway, sirens wailing in the distance, Taylor sobbing on her phone. Sheila, hurry. The world narrows to a single point of conflict, Sheila's silhouette framed in the doorway, Luna's raised gun, Steffy cowering. For one heartbeat, time stands still. Then Sheila lunges, grabbing Luna's arm, twisting the barrel skyward, hollering, "Not another bullet." Luna snarls, strikes out, and Sheila throws herself across the line of fire, taking a wound meant for Steffy. The shot echoes like a thunderclap. Luna staggers back, horror flooding her features, as Ridge, Liam, and Hope clamor for their fallen matriarch, racing to cradled body and shattered gun alike. Steffy scrambles free, collapsing into Sheila's arms, tears and blood mixing as she whispers, "Oh God, Grandma." Sheila's lips curve in a weak, triumphant smile, her final act of villainy redeemed by love's ultimate sacrifice. In the aftermath, as paramedics swarm and flashing lights paint the sand in red and blue, the Carter and Forrester clans stand united at the threshold of tragedy and possibility. Steffy clutches Sheila's hand, promising forgiveness she never thought she'd offer. Luna, heartbroken and unmoored, collapses to her knees, the gun tumbling from her grasp as she realizes she has destroyed more than she ever intended to. Riley sits in stunned silence, knowing that the girl he believed he could save has now become her own worst enemy. And Ridge, his chest heaving with relief and regret, vows to never again underestimate the darkness that can lurk behind familiar faces. Taylor, shattered by guilt, cradles her phone as she watches emergency crews stabilize Sheila, knowing that the information she provided either saved her daughter or could have damned them all. And Grace, on her own lonely beach, silences yet another call, determination stealing her nerves as she prepares to face her own demons. This is the bold and the beautiful at its most electrifying, an epic collision of loyalty and betrayal, of past sins and near redemption, of bullets fired in the name of revenge and bullets caught in the name of love. As the tides roll in and the credits loom, viewers are left with shattered hearts and questions that will echo through every corner of Los Angeles. Will Sheila survive to claim her redemption? Can Steffy ever trust again? Will Luna face justice for her monstrous acts, or is this only the beginning of her spiral into madness? And what of Grace, haunted by threats both real and imagined, still fighting for her own happy ending? If you thought you knew what danger looked like on a soap opera, think again, because this Friday, July 4th, 2025, CBS has redefined high stakes for a new generation, and the bold and the beautiful world will never be the same. Tune in, hold on, and pray the storm doesn't break your heart. CBS will unleash a pulse-pounding installment of The Bold and the Beautiful in which Steffy Forrester Finnegan literally fears for her life. As viewers tune in to the Hayes Forrester Finnegan Art School, they will find Steffy racing through silent corridors, her heart hammering against her ribs, expecting nothing more sinister than a routine meeting with her daughter's art instructor, Dylan. Instead, she stumbles into a scene that chills her to the bone. A locked supply closet thrown ajar, shadows dancing across the walls, and Luna Nozawa emerging from the gloom, handgun leveled and eyes glinting with cold purpose. In an instant, Steffy realizes that everything she's ever built, her marriage, her children, her legacy, could be snuffed out in a single bullet's flash. And as Luna's finger curls around the trigger, Steffy's mind reels back to the cryptic fortune-teller's note her daughter showed her days ago, the one Luna's secretive son helped craft, the same note that promised blood and reckoning. This is no random act of violence. It is the culmination of Luna's twisted design, and Steffy knows that if she doesn't summon every ounce of strength, she won't live to see the dawn. Luna Nozawa, driven by an almost maniacal conviction, believes she has meticulously orchestrated the perfect crime. In her mind, once Steffy lies broken at her feet, the world will finally witness Luna's brilliance, her vengeance against the Forrester Finnegan dynasty that rejected her. Yet beneath that steely resolve, an unsettling truth lurks. Luna cannot resist leaving a signature, a calling card that will betray her identity, and somewhere deep down she longs for someone, anyone, to confront her, to end the madness she herself can barely control. She imagines the headlines, the whispers, the shock when news of Steffy's assassination rocks Los Angeles, and she almost craves the moment she might explain, justify, even revel in the chaos she has unleashed. But the tighter she clenches the gun, the more she confronts her own isolation, the gulf between her and the grandmother she once worshipped. Her plan is flawless, yet in her darkest hour she yearns for a restraint she cannot impose on herself. Meanwhile, Taylor Hayes, alerted by the untrustworthy Sheila Carter-Sharp, senses that Steffy's life hangs by a thread. Sheila's warning arrives like a poison gift. Once a predator, Sheila now claims reformation, and despite Taylor's hard-won defenses she hesitates, haunted by past mistakes when she believed Sheila's lies. Nonetheless, when Sheila's chilling dispatch reaches her, Steffy is in danger, Taylor. Only you can save her. Taylor's maternal instinct overrules every doubt. She races against time, tears blurring her vision, as she punches in Steffy's coordinates at the Hayes Forrester Finnegan campus. Taylor's mind flashes to the day she first held Steffy as an infant, to the promise she made to protect her at all costs. Will she join forces with Sheila, the woman who once sought to destroy her family, in a desperate gambit to rescue her daughter? The very thought makes her stomach twist, but Taylor knows that hesitation will cost Steffy her life. Back at Forrester Creations, Ridge Forrester strives to calm the frantic pleas of Liam Spencer and Hope Logan. He assures them that Luna will be apprehended before she can carry out any lethal act, that the LA police have her on a watch list. Yet every second that ticks by threatens to unravel those reassurances. When Taylor's panicked call finally pierces the charade, Ridge, it's Steffy, she's in grave danger. Ridge feels the world shift beneath him. In an instant he grabs his keys, and with Liam at his side he barrels toward the art school in Ridge's vintage convertible, sirens of dread blaring in their hearts. Liam, consumed by guilt over past betrayals and desperate to redeem himself in Steffy's eyes, braces for the worst. He knows that if he must throw himself between Luna's bullet and Steffy's chest, he will. As they speed through LA's gridlocked streets, every red light becomes an agonizing countdown, every honk a grim reminder of mortality. Behind them, Hope clutches her phone, tears streaming, praying that love will conquer the darkness. And while all this drama unfolds, another storm brews in the shadows. Grace Buckingham. On the surface, Grace moves through her day at Forrester's sister design house in flawless heels and a cool, professional smile. But beneath that polished exterior, her phone crackles with anonymous calls, whispers on the line when she's alone in the fitting room, static that lingers long after she hangs up. These are no mere prank calls. The caller knows details that only those close to Grace could. Is it her ex-criminal husband, recently released and looking to settle old scores? Or someone new, someone watching her every move, someone determined to drag long-buried secrets into the harsh light? Grace's calm facade frays with each ring, her breaths coming shorter, her thoughts darkening with suspicion. And as she locks herself in her office late into the night, the phone's unceasing shriek reminds her that danger often hides behind the most innocent doors. On Friday's episode, every storyline will converge in a crescendo of peril and pathos. Steffy's fate teetering on the gun's edge, Taylor's crisis of faith, Ridge and Liam's race against time, and Grace's private terror. Fans of the bold and the beautiful can expect heartbreak, heroism, and the kind of shocking revelation that only CBS can deliver. The question isn't just who will survive, but who, amid betrayal and fear, will discover the true meaning of loyalty and love. Tune in this Friday, July 4th, 2025, to witness whether Steffy Forrester Finnegan sees another sunrise or whether Luna Nozawa's deadly vision comes to pass.
Oh.